sports. We are Buffalo. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight it's a special telecast from Comerica Park. Fox Sports Features presents 9 innings, 9 positions. Tonight we'll take you around the diamond and show you what it takes to play every position on a major league field. Great night for baseball as we welcome into Comerica Park tonight Tigers and the Texas Rangers in Game 2 in this 4-game series. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba. Kirk Gibson, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. Got to mix it up a little bit tonight, Gibby. We're going to talk about pound.
In the pick the stick we were mixing it
Yeah,
up.
we were mixing up. That's the different kind of that's fisticuffs. What we're talking about here is the fact that we're going to go around the diamond tonight and show you what it takes to play all these positions.
Well, we're doing these theme broadcasts, and I picked defense. The defense equals on-base percentage, really. You always talk about the hitting, and we like to watch the balls go out of the ballpark. We like to pick them up as well. So we're going to focus on the best players, my picks, my criteria, and then I know Mario and Shep and Simo, they're going to be all over it, but that's what we're going to. They're going to. Let's see if they're going to agree with me. It'll be fun.
We won't.
And it'll be a little different telecast tonight, and you'll see how the defense plays into a win or a loss.
All right, should be a lot of fun tonight. After a short break, we'll send you to the Coliseum Studios, and we'll check in with Mickey York. But coming up tonight, we will reveal some of our selections for the best defensive players at every position. That's coming up next. Tigers, Rangers, Game 2 on the way.
Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep. See your Jeep dealer today and experience the freedom that comes with the legendary capability. Mickey York back with you here in the Coliseum studio. Game 2 of the 4-game series between the Tigers and the Rangers coming up here shortly. It's a special evening and a special broadcast that we have for you tonight as we highlight 9 different positions in every inning of tonight's game. 9 innings, 9 positions is the theme tonight, and it all begins next. Highlighting position number 1, Jordan Zimmerman back on the mound for the Tigers tonight, trying to remain unbeaten on the season. His first pitch is next on Fox Sports Detroit. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Park. It is game 2 featuring the Tigers and the Rangers, and Jordan Zimmerman is on the mound for the Tigers. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Zim back off the disabled list, throwing the ball much better, used his curveball in his last start, and the Tigers have won 4 of his last 5 starts.
Here is the lineup he will face tonight for the Rangers, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Late change, Joey Gallo is out of the lineup. He was originally scheduled to play left field. It looks like this. It'll be Chu, Andrus, and Mazzara. Beltre batting cleanup. Odor is at second. Chirinos catching. Guzman at first. Ryan Rua now will play in left field, and Delino to Shields batting 9.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense tonight. Victor Reyes in left field tonight. Jacoby in center, and Nicholas in right. Ronnie Rodriguez again at third. Jim Medusi is at first. Nico at second, with Iglesias, of course, at short. James McCann behind the plate for Jordan Zimmerman.
So on your scorecard, Jordan Zimmerman is the #1 position, and as we have spoken of, we will talk about all 9 positions tonight, what it takes to play each of these positions in the major leagues. Jordan Zimmerman will get to work here soon.
We had to establish some criteria, how we were going to evaluate these great players for the game for so many years. We'll get that to you in a second, and then we'll get on with it.
What a spectacular night for baseball here in the Motor City. Clear skies, no rain, which is nice. Tigers had a couple of rain delays in the ball game last night. It's going to be Shin-Soo Choo to get things started for the Rangers. Had the night off last night, did not play. And he is as hot as anybody right now. He's been on base in 44 consecutive games. And he'll look at a strike to get things going tonight. Choo has 16 homers. He's knocked in 41. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Driven in the air to center field. That'll move Jones back. Still going back to the track, to the wall. And that ball's going to carry out and gone to dead center field. Shin-Soo Choo has given the Rangers a 1-0 lead.
His on-base streak extended by a game. That's now 45 games for Choo.
That is big boy territory out there to center.
Take a look just right down the middle, and Choo pounds it into the bushes. Off to a 1-0 lead.
Better than 420 feet out there to center field. And Choo hits number 17. Rangers built an early lead last night with a couple of homers. Elvis Andrus, the batter. .265 batting average for Andrus. Had a double in last night's ball game. Wave and a miss. The distance on that Choo homer, 436. No cheapie.
A little windy. I don't know if it's just perfect conditions for that. Heat still coming off the field. He definitely barreled it.
Are we talking convective activity here?
We are talking convection. It's like your convection oven you don't cook in.
2-2 now on Andrus. Waiting on deck is Nomar Mazara. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Andrus out of there. One gone.
All right, let's take a look. We're going to start with the pitchers today. My pitchers. No one's going to contest the first two, I don't think. Greg Maddux, perfect finish, always right there, and the numbers showed, and as well as Jim Cott. The Gold Gloves, 18 and 16. Kenny Rogers, they may question Kenny Rogers. In his career, though, he allowed 63 stolen bases, had 91 caught runners. That's a 41% stolen base rate in a time which the average player stole safely in about 70% of the time. That's way and above anybody else. So that's why I picked Cott and Maddux. I thought were very easy picks. Kenny, I stepped out there a little bit, but he did something really far and above what anybody else did, and he had a unique niche. What do you got on that?
Kenny Rogers, I'm not going to argue with that at all. I think he's a good #3 selection because we got to see him play a couple of years here, and man, he could really field his position. So in the eye test, I'm with you on that.
So an easy start for us. And you know, what some of the criteria that they needed to have to be considered, obviously bunts, holding runners, controlling the run game, and covering first. So when you're looking at pitchers, those are some of the traits that are going to make you great if you can complete the task dealing with those situations.
Here's the 2-1, and it's a ball low to Nomar Mazara.
So there you see the bunts, holding the runners and covering first base. The holding runners has become much more of an art, I guess, in the later game as we see it today.
Popped up middle of the infield. To the grass it goes. Iglesias hauls it in.
Now, who would you want to add to that? You got somebody on your list?
Well, the only thing different that I had on my list was I flip-flopped Cott and Maddox, but I will admit I didn't realize Maddox won that many Gold Gloves.
Yeah, he has 18. Cott has 16.
Yeah, so they're fairly even in that respect, but I had Jim Cott first only because everybody that I've talked to in the game has always talked Jim Cott as the best defensive pitcher they had ever seen in the game.
Well, one of the things that both of those gentlemen did was their finish was perfect. They came right down, both feet on the ground, square to the plate. They didn't have violent deliveries. So they were put in position. If you can watch Jordan Zimmerman right here, watch on the finish. Now he comes in, he releases the ball. He's fallen off just a little bit to the left, not too bad, but Jim Cott and Greg Maddox were money.
1-2 on Beltre. The leadoff home run by Chu has given Texas an early lead.
Take a look at what the pitcher does in play during the game. We'll keep it on. I mean, many times the ball goes back to the pitcher's mound. Your eyes leave the other players. Tonight we're going to keep an eye on them. Sometimes it's, you know, thinking about what you might have to do on the next pitch. Could it come to you? Is this guy more apt? You're analyzing the pitch. What do I want to throw? They just threw him 2 sliders. He looks like he's sitting on it. So you're developing your thought process. Now every fielder on the field will show you tonight. They get a different read. Your scouting report, you're supposed to be here, and they're going to say, should I move here? He's going to throw a slider away. Do I want to take a half a step over late? Don't want to step too early, so the hitter can see what you're doing.
Ooh, Jordan thought he had him there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think being a very good fielding pitcher is one of the more underrated parts of that part of the game. You can help yourself so much.
You know, the bunts obviously are a big play there. He's looking for something breaking, and he got the heater. Good 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Zimmerman. We're on our way. We'll be back with more.
Tigers starting lineup for this one tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You got Jones, Castellanos, and Goodrum in your top 3 spots. Vmart is batting cleanup. Benedusi and McCann. Rodriguez, Iglesias, Reyes will round it out for the Tigers here tonight. And they are facing Bartolo Colon, presented tonight by MGM Grand Detroit.
The youngster, 45 years old, 5-5 in the year. Really an amazing feat what he does. Throws a ton of fastballs, maybe around 85–90%, but he knows how to spot them, knows how to work him, make him move, and he has started to use a changeup a little more than normal to get some strikeouts.
Does not walk very many batters, and he will make you beat him. That's fouled straight back. 0-2 now on Jacoby, who is sitting in the leadoff slot tonight. Good to see Ron Gardenhire back behind the bench.
Yeah, was not behind last night as well. That was 2 days, but Gardy's feeling better today. Had a little sickness.
That heat got a few people feeling a little queasy the last couple of days. That'll miss outside. 1-2.
Does feel good today. A little cooler, not as humid.
Now Cologne with the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jacoby Jones. Castellanos and then Goodrum here in the Tigers first. Bouncing ball up the middle, and how about that? It's going to be Cologne with a nice defensive play.
Let's take a look at the Rangers starting defense. Ryan Rua in left field. The lineup is Shields in center. Nomar Mazara in right field. Elvis Andrus and Rufnet Odor up the middle. Beltre and Guzman on the corners. Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. Roberto Colon on the mound, 45 years old.
Cologne probably not going to make your list, and has not, of the top 3 defenders all time of pitchers, but he was able to flag that one down from Jones. And Nick looks at a ball high.
Now let's take a look. Bartolo Colon with a good finish. And he gets the ball hit right back to him. He's in great position to get it, and he's thrown several of these to first base in his career. But he wasn't on the list.
There's a strike called on Castellanos. 1-1.
He would be on the oldest player list if we had one. We could do that.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. High fly ball, right field, fairly deep. Mazzara in and out of the sunlight hauls it in.
Let's take a look at my #1 pick. That was Greg Maddux. Remember hitting against him, but look at this play. How athletic can you be? Good finish, dive, athletic, and he had a great sense of being able to throw the ball wherever he wanted to, and that was in an area, I might say, that you could maybe spot it 6 inches off the plate, but you still had to pick up the ball if it was hit back to you, and you can see in those plays a great representation of the #1 pitching defender.
Here is Nico Goodrum now with 2 outs. Nico in the 3 slot in the ball game tonight. He homered in the ball game last night.
Well, he works quick too, doesn't he? He doesn't miss the plate only when he wants to. Colon, that is.
Nico shoots it foul. 1-2.
Let's look at the criteria why we might have an argument or two about who's first or second. The Gold Glove voting, longevity. Do you have range? Are you a clutch performer? Good footwork, obviously. The metrics. Smell test, down and dirty. We'll get into that. And then the other one said read the sets.
What does that mean?
Well, when you're a surfer, they call the waves sets, right?
Okay.
And they'll stand there on the beach and they'll see a set, then they'll go because they can see them coming. It's the same way on a baseball field. You have to read the hops, read the sets. Well, no matter where you are on the infield. And sometimes it's a third base, it's a hot one. You know, maybe it's one deep in the hole at shortstop. So the sets, it always changes. Certain players have the ability to read the hops. They run to the spot where they get the good hop. That's why they field everything. That's why they're able to throw accurately, because they're there ahead, because they've read the sets.
And he went around, says third base umpire Gabe Morales. And Nico says, I don't think so, but he's out of there. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Cologne. go around the diamond tonight and show you what it takes to play all the defensive positions. Second inning, so number 2 on your score sheet is the catcher spot, and James McCann manning that tonight for the Tigers. It'll be Rougned Odor to lead things off here for the Rangers. He is showing bunt, and he will look at a strike. Catching, one of the most important positions on the field for so many different reasons, and we'll get into those throughout the course of the night. But McCann continues to steadily improve behind the plate. The 0-1 is a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now let's look at a couple things you have to be able to do if you want to be a catcher. You have to catch the stealers, of course. You need to block. You need to learn how to frame. That's something that's new this year. And obviously the bunts. Got a big responsibility. You also have to handle that pitcher. And the fielders ahead of you, you are like the quarterback. There's quite a few that do these, share these attributes around the game today. There's some good ones as of the past as well.
Odor looks at a ball outside, 2-2. Rougned Odor was 0 for 3 with a walk last night, batting .233 on the year.
So, did you ever do any catching, Mario? You were young?
Maybe like 1 or 2 games in Little League.
Yeah, not a lot of catchers come out of the United States anymore. A lot of catchers, of course, Puerto Rico. Pudge Rodriguez is one of them, and he just happens to be on my list.
Here are Chevrolet's most dependable players. We'll start with the catchers here. There's Gibby's top 3 defensive catchers.
Now this is going to be you're going to have some arguments here. Johnny Bitch I picked first, 10 Gold Gloves. Pudge Rodriguez second, he had 13. Yadier Molina 8. Yadier is a different type of catcher altogether than the first 2. Johnny Bench threw out 43% of base stealers in a time in which the major league average was 35%. Pudge was even better. He threw out 46% when the MLB average was 31%. Yachty, he rates as the best catcher at deterring base stealing. He did it a different way, at blocking pitches, picking behind guys, keeping them close during that span of his career, and he's still doing a good job of that.
Wave and a miss, 1 and 2 on Chirinos.
So what do you got?
Well, I had Pudge number 1, and I looked at a lot of his stats. 10 times he finished the year throwing out over 50%. 10 times in his career.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stats on all of them, actually. I kind of went off the criteria just a little bit, because they're both like 990, 991 fielding percentage players, okay? And Pudge had a world championship, I believe, with the Marlins, right?
Correct. I had Bill Freehand third. I think Bill is
that's a good one.
Yeah, underappreciated for his value to the Tigers in the 60s and 70s. There's a swing and a miss, and Chirinos is out on strikes. 4 punch outs already now for Zim. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's.
Now, I may have overlooked Bill Freehand because I went with, Pudge Rodriguez as a Tiger, so to say. So, but that's a great correction on your part. I'll go with Freehand. Bench won 2 world championships with the Big Red Machine, and I will just tell you that I played against Pudge Rodriguez. I watched him here. He's a great player. He's in the Hall of Fame. But Johnny Bench, at a time when I was growing up in the in the 70s, had a huge impact on me wanting to play the game. So that kind of sticks with me. They had him, Concepcion, Rose, those guys. The Big Red Machine in the 70s. They were hard to beat. And so I can't argue with you, but all 3, I think, good picks, and we'll add Bill Freehand to that list as well as 3B.
3B, I like it. Guzman swings and misses. I think the one thing you did bring up, Gibby, is all these guys are going to have great stats. They're going to have great peripherals, and it comes down to opinion on what you like, maybe some homerism on guys you grew up watching, but that's what makes it fun.
There's so many candidates.
Chopped up the middle for Iglesias, and it'll be a snappy 1-2-3 for Jordan Zimmerman.
On the catcher's range, Johnny Bench, my #1 pick. Look at that throw, right on the money, very accurate. Great fielder. Of course, you could block the plate then. There you're doing the bunt. And as I said, when I was a youngster, Johnny Bench was kind of an idol of mine from out of town. We didn't get the baseball like we get it. We only got a few games a year.
Here's a single to center field for Victor Martinez, who leads off the second. First Tigers hit. Is the commissioner for the theme night here tonight?
He's looking over us. That's right. He's grading. It's like a test.
Rob Manfred is here, Major League Baseball commissioner.
Yeah, wave. Come on, you're on. He's got a monitor right there. Hi, commish.
Enjoying some Tigers Rangers action here this evening. Here is Jim Adducci now with the leadoff man on. You know, you brought up a point about Johnny Bench. I think it's a valid point, Gibby, and that is the fact that he was part of a team that went on to win multiple World Series, and there is value certainly in that, in an extremely important position. The 1-0 is flared out of play.
Well, in my mind, it had an influence on me, and there's viewers watching and listening of all ages, and you know, the age group might have a different view just on that alone. That's understandable.
Sure.
National League versus American League, that would be another determining factor.
He'll go to second, get the lead runner there as Victor is out on the fielder's choice.
Let's look at the Robinson Chirinos. A couple notes on him, the catcher for the Rangers. This season he's caught only 2 of 39 base stealers. However, he's blocked 95% of all potential wild pitches, so he ranks very high in blocking. That's since 2015, but has not fared well in throwing runners out when they're trying to steal. So, of course, you're going to use that information in the game tonight. Should you get on?
Now McCann with 1 on 1 out, and James looks at ball 1. Mac just 2 for 16 here in the month of July in the early going, trying to get that average up at 223 right now.
Anything else you could think about catching wise that I missed here? That
well, here's a question concerning catchers. What is more important, or are they equally important? Your feet or your arm?
Well,
I mean, you got to have pretty quick feet and good balance, don't you, to try and throw runners out?
absolutely, but you know, good feet make good arm in every position, but you have to have arm strength. I could have never thrown a ball at second base with anything on it.
That ball belted to left field. It is way back, and that ball is gone. James McCann with a 2-run shot, his 5th of the year.
Well, McCann gets a hold of one right here. You're the catcher. We've been talking about him. What do you think after you put the fingers down and it doesn't work out?
I should have put something else down.
Well, he wanted it away. He got it in. Cologne missed his spot. You're standing there at home plate. Of course, you know, you got to get ready. You got another hitter right now. Now he's putting his signs down.
Tigers have the lead, and that is McCann's first home run since late May against the Angels.
He's happy.
Yeah,
boy.
certainly feels good for him.
And they all have a different art for giving signs, do the catchers.
Ronnie Rodriguez, the hitter.
You'll notice they've got the paint on the fingernails because the lights don't get down in there in the area that the signs are being presented.
That bat that McCann was showing just moments ago is actually Miguel Cabrera's bat. So there was some thunder in it. Still. 1-2 on Ronnie Rodriguez. Bouncer right back up the middle. Odor is there, and Rodriguez is out. 2 gone. If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries.
Again, just talking about the catchers, think what just happened. McCann hit the home run. You put the fingers down, they miss the target, it goes out of the park. You immediately got to think, I got another hitter up there. So he's got to deal with Ronnie Rodriguez. Be prepared to block the ball, make proper calls, make any play that happens in front of you. And if you see anything else on the field, you got to correct that as well.
Fly ball right field. Mazzara cruising over, and that will end the inning. Tigers take the lead on the McCann home run. Last September, Andrew Romine did something that only 4 other players have ever done. Mickey York has more on that when we come back.
All 9 positions. We got to give some love to the last guy to play all 9 in the same game. Andrew Romine did it in the Tigers' 3-2 victory over the Twins last September 30th. Romine even completed the first out and the final out of the game to become just the 5th player in Major League history to play all 9 positions in a single game. Romine called the experience surreal and the highlight of his career. It's an exclusive list that includes Bert Campaneris, Cesar Tovar, Scott Sheldon, and before Romine, Mario Gibby, you'll remember this, former Tiger Shane Halter, who did it in 2000.
We do indeed, and that was quite a sight for us to see last year. It was a lot of fun to do that game as well. Zim goes back to work, and there's a little cue shot to right field off the bat of Brian Rua, the leadoff man on here for the Rangers.
All right, off to first base. Let's look at the criteria. These are just some additional responsibilities. Fielding bunts, scoops, that's big. Infielders don't always throw it across the diamond. They got to pick them, and then you get those pickoff attempts. Who's good at that? And of course, the late Dave Bergman, he used to fake throw it to first base, caught a couple guys wandering off after he sold it.
Here is Delino DeShields. Showing bunt, he'll drop one down. DeShields has done plenty of that. He's got a bunch of bunt singles, 9 of them, and 9 sacrifices as well. I might add to your list at first base as well, a good strong throwing arm and accurate throwing arm, because that 3-6-3 double play could be a difficult one to turn sometimes.
Yeah, and that my number one was as good as anybody at, and probably the best. Powerful arm, great range.
Bunted back to the mound, and he's going to go to second, and in time for the out.
What a play.
Wow, I didn't think Zim had a shot.
Well, let's take a look. The Shields runs good, so he decides to go to second. That's a good accurate throw, right on the money, so you get him. It's off any way at all. He probably pulls him off the bag. But Zim's a veteran guy. We were talking about the ability to field bunts as a pitcher earlier in the game, and there's a good example of Jordan helping himself get the job done, getting these Rangers out in this inning.
He had a really good feel for the running speed of DeShields, and also if he had enough time and how long he had to make that throw at second base to get the force. Nicely done.
Gonna have to keep an eye on him over there at first base. DeShields likes to run.
Shin-Soo Choo hit one over the center field wall in the first inning to start the game. Runner goes. Here's McCann's throw. The tag is in time. He got him.
They're going to review it.
Delano DeShields is cut down at second base. We'll see if the Rangers want to challenge this.
He tagged him on the side. Did his hand get in? Good throw by James. But I think DeShields thinks he may be safe.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. If the call stands, it'll be only the third time this year DeShields has been thrown out.
That's pretty close. Did he get him there?
He might be in.
This could go either way. He's got him right there on the. Did he get him on the jersey first? Iglesias did a pretty good job of staying deep on the bag. The ball travels quicker in the air than you can catch it and move it.
Rangers challenge the out call at second base. DeShields coming in was 16 out of 18 in attempts.
Did he clip him initially right here? Right there. Did he get him? I think it's pretty hard to see. He could have gotten his uniform. It's kind of rippled there. Let's hope so. This is I don't think this is a easy one, so I'm going to go with they're going to leave it as it happened. Let's see this look here. See right there. Does he get him?
I don't know. The thing the Tigers have going for them right now is the call was out. So it has to be very clear to overturn the call. And I just don't know if that's clear enough.
Well, they're supposed to, what is it supposed to be, 2 minutes or less?
That's what they shoot for.
Out. Shields doesn't believe it.
Only the third time he's been caught this year, although you won't be able to convince him. That is 12 caught stealings now for McCann. Meanwhile, 1 ball and 1 strike on Choo.
So far, some pretty good plays for the Tigers in our defensive themed night.
Here's the 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Zim now with 5 strikeouts early in this game. He's cruising along. Tigers have a 2-1 lead as Choo is caught looking.
Johnny Mattingly with 9, and Todd Helton 3. Now, there's probably some debate on that. There's many first basemans over the years, but Keith Hernandez, why I picked him, he had great range, powerful arm, and he was really the first to charge home plate on bunts. It really made him unique. He was more innovative, and he made really first base a position of science. 11 Gold Gloves is still a record at first, and I think he's the all-time leader at scoops since the 1950s. Keith Hernandez is. So there you got it. Obviously a huge position, very important on the field. A lot of responsibility over there, a lot of movement around the diamond. What do you got, Mario?
It's a good pick. I like Keith Hernandez, I like Don Mattingly, but I'm going to go with someone else in just a second here. That's fouled back out of play by Reyes. Hernandez, you can't argue with all the Gold Gloves he won. Certainly one of the best. I think watching Mattingly in the American League, growing up as a Tiger fan a lot as well, he kind of sticks out in my mind. So he's definitely top 3 for me.
But you got a new number 1?
I got a different one that's going to shock you. Here's the 1-2. It's low, 2 balls and 2 strikes, but you're going to have to wait. Reyes and then Jones and then Castellanos. Tigers grab the lead with a 2-run homer by McCann. Little chopper, third base side for Beltre. Reyes is out. 1 gone. Menards brings you the big money encounter. I'm going to go with a guy that I watch play every day for a couple of years. JT Snow is a guy that I watch play while broadcasting Angels games, and this is a guy, Gibby, for me. I know he's not going to be on a lot of lists, but he's a guy for me that could make that play you saw going into the stands with his back to the infield as well as anybody. 16 major league seasons, 6 Gold Gloves, fielding percentage of .995. I just thought he was one of the guys that really helps out the infield. I mean, if you ask Gary DiSarcina today, you know, how good JT Snow was, he'll tell you how many times he bailed him out. Outstanding player for both the Angels and the Giants.
So you got him at number 1, or where you got him?
Yeah, I'm going to go number 1 only because, you know, again, the criteria, only because I saw him play on a daily basis and saw the impact that he had on games.
Well, even I left George Scott off. He won 8 Gold Gloves. There's a lot of guys.
Boomer?
Boomer.
I don't know. Boomer won 8 Gold Gloves. That's a lot. 1-2 on Jones.
Well, I'm not going to give you number 1. We'll give him a 3B as well.
Okay, that's fair.
Or we can go. It's kind of like when they have the Kentucky Derby, right? They have the auxiliary gates. We'll put them over there for later consideration.
It's in the auxiliary gates. Hey, Tigers host the Rangers tomorrow at 4:10. First 10,000 fans get a Willie Horton 1968 50th anniversary bobblehead courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. 866-66 Tiger for tickets information. And get your Willie Horton bobblehead to add to your collection. Here is Nicholas Castellanos.
Do you have a big collection, by the way?
I wouldn't call it big. I've got a few. You know, they just get so hard to display after a while.
I've seen a couple of really great bobblehead collections. They're very valuable as well. It takes a lot of organization to do so. How many do you have?
Oh, I would say around, I don't know, 20 or 30. Not a lot.
How about of you?
Of me? Done. Slow roller towards short. Andrews gobbles it up. And Castellanos is out. 1-2-3 inning for Bartolo Colon. Tigers baseball presented by Bill Tire.
second base, if I'm rolling a double play, I can't see this. So it's kind of, I'm just boom, and now I'm picking up where it's not really in front of me. When if a double play comes to me, it's not right, left, it's left, right. I'm flipping.
Part of the conversation Matt Shepard had with Nico Goodrum, who has played both second and short in our Bernstein advantage. And one of the advantages that Nico has had is his ability to play multiple positions this year for the Tigers.
Yeah, and he has to keep them all straight. Yeah, that was an interesting tip he gave on the right side of the diamond. It's right left because you're going at second base a different way. Something you wouldn't think about, but obviously if you're playing that position you must know about it.
Popped up right on cue to Nico at second, and he hauls it in. Andrews is out.
So we're on second base, and obviously you got to have arm strength. Accuracy is a must because you're turning a lot of double plays, and a lot of footwork involved in double plays. And I've been wondering where Shep's been. I know Shep's he loves this stuff, and he got something to weigh in on. What do you got, Shep?
Well, it's just the opposite at second base from shortstop, his natural position, right? So the footwork is different. And the thing that I enjoyed most learning from him is how he takes and twists too. How the footwork. Look at this footwork. Oh, bounce.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that slipped out of his hands or what.
I think it's intentional.
He threw that thing straight into the dirt.
I don't think he could have thrown it in the air because of where his feet was. You could see the runner cruising down the base.
That was almost an unbelievable play.
Doesn't it look like he does this on purpose?
Yeah, you're right. Looking at the replay, it does look like he did it on purpose.
That was awesome.
Wow.
That's creativity, isn't it, fellas?
It is.
Yeah. Just real quick, Goodrum, just the way he turns to at second base, how you can kick it and step back, or how you could go across the bag. A lot of it is a feel, but he had to get that feel because he was used to twisting it the other way from the shortstop position, Mario.
And the other thing, Shep, I thought that it should be real of interest is you see the runner coming at you from the shortstop side. He pointed out from second base. You do not. Now, that's not a good feeling.
Well, yeah, you're almost blind to it. That's a good point.
Beltre, the batter. That's in the air to the right side of the infield. Adduci and Goodrum, and Nico calls off his first baseman. 2 gone.
We're talking about second baseman right here.
The second baseman.
Now, there's a communication component in this. You saw the Deuce wanted the ball, but the middle infielders are supposedly the best athletes on the field, so they have more power over the corners. You see Nico. Here's an ice of it. Ball goes up. Many times players are looking for those middle infielders to come and take charge. Good communication. Nico, good job. Seen a few of those drop over the years.
Here is Rougned Odor with 2 outs. He'll drive one in the air toward right field. On the move is Castellanos. On the move is Jones, and Jacoby hauls it in. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th.
off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Tigers Rangers hooked up in a close one here, game 2 in the series. Tigers have a 2-1 advantage on a 2-run shot by James McCann. Tigers have 3-4-5 coming up. Goodrum leads it off. Cologne had a 1-2-3 third. Nico looks at a strike. Goodrum fanned in the first inning. Came in with a 5-game hitting streak. 0-2. Mentioned that Cologne didn't walk too many. Coming into the start here, only 15 walks. And he walked per 9 of under 2, about 1.5. That'll dive low, 1-2 the count.
Here's a changeup there. You haven't seen many of those, but that's may have been the first.
"45 years of age, Bartolo Colon." Grounded toward third, Beltre with the scoop. And Goodrum is out by a step.
Here, let's take a look at our second baseman now. My picks. Played against this guy, Roberto Alomar, 10 gold gloves. Joe Morgan with 5. There's another big red machine. You could tell I like Cincinnati. I was getting it. Got to put Lou Whitaker with 3 only. Tram going into the hall. I think he'll politic and promote after playing with Lou for 20 years. And Alomar, top 8 in MLB history in assists and double plays turned. There's a lot of good second basemen. Bill Mazeroski would be one that many would say should be on the list. I remember the Mazeroski home run and maybe didn't realize he was as good of a fielder that he was. So that's what I got. And you have?
I like it. I like Alomar without question. I think he's the best second baseman I've ever seen. That slap toward left field, sinking and caught.
Shep, what do you got?
How about Frank White? Should he belong in there? I think he's pretty good. Can I add 2 shortstops? I think Mark Belanger was fantastic. He won 8 gold gloves. Dave Concepcion, pretty good. I wouldn't put him in my top 3, but those are 2 guys. And let me give you another catcher. Jim Sundberg was really good. Not a great hitter, but a really good receiver for the Rangers for a long time. And I think you guys are right. Bill Freehan belongs to the Hall of Fame. So does Mickey Lolich and Lou Whitaker. Bill Freehan was an 11-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove. And guys, Carlton Fisk is well-renowned. Bill Freehan's numbers, not home runs, but in terms of Gold Gloves, in terms of All-Star games, matches or exceeds Carlton Fisk. He belongs in there.
Yeah, I don't know why Bill Freehan is often overlooked when people talk about the best catchers in the game. I mean, for about a decade, from the 60s, early 60s to the early 70s, Freehan was in some ways a gold standard. I mean, he was outstanding.
It's because he's a Tiger.
Ah, okay.
I'm serious. I truly believe that. We've been shortchanged too long. Morris and Trammell should have been in there a long time ago. Whitaker should be in there. Lolich definitely, along with Freehan. No question.
2 balls, 1 strike on a Ducey with 2 outs. Little chopper to the right side of the infield, and Odor has it. So Cologne cruising along 2 now. He's retired 8 straight. Shortstops will be our focus next.
This is going to be a beauty.
brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's the Chevy 4th of July sales event. Celebrate with spectacular deals on a new Chevy. Well, James McCann, the difference here tonight. 2-run shot, giving the Tigers a 2-1 lead. And Zimmerman back to work now in the 5th inning. Robinson Chirinos leads it off for the Rangers, and he looks at ball 1. Zim allowed a home run to Shin-Soo Choo to start the game, but nothing since. Chirinos fanned in the 2nd. Pops it up. Seen a few of those already here tonight. And who wants it? Iglesias finally tells Rodriguez. Ooh, a little mustard on that one. Seemed to be a little bit of lack of communication there, but Iggy made the play. Hey, bring the kids to the ballpark this Sunday when the Tigers face the Rangers at 1:10, Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free kids pedometer. Watch courtesy of St. Joseph Mercy Health System. Don't forget to stay after the game for the Kids Run the Bases, Tigers.com or 866-66-TIGER. Ronald Guzman, the batter. Line to left field. That'll sink in. Drop for a base hit. 1-out single for Guzman, his 3rd hit in the series. Now Ryan Rua. Late addition to the lineup today, as Joey Gallo was a late scratch. Rua singled in the 3rd. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, we're going back to college with Ryan Rua, the only player drafted from Lake Erie College in program history. That's it. He's the only guy. It's in Painesville, Ohio. Bunted. Pretty good one. Zim trying to scoop it to first. Nice play.
Well, we touched on the pitchers and their fielding ability. Watch Jordan Zimmerman here. This is not an easy play. Takes his time, make sure that he makes an accurate flip. You know, you have to throw the ball a lot. This is a flip. You want to take your time and make sure you get an accurate throw on the money as opposed to rushing and hoping it gets there.
They've given Rua a sacrifice on that play.
They do that all the time. What do you think?
Didn't used to be that way, did it?
Did it seem like it was more of a judgment?
Well, it seemed to me like he was trying to bunt for a base hit. Now, in the end, he ended up moving the runner up. What do you think?
I think a sack is a sack. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it looked like he was at least sack plus.
There you go. I like that. Sack plus. So the tying run in scoring position. DeShields trying to knock him in. Delano reaching on a fielder's choice, thrown out trying to steal back in the 2nd. Ooh, that one drilled McCann, and down he goes.
Right off the inside of the shin burger.
Now, on your qualification list for catchers, was toughness one of them?
Absolutely.
You've got to be tough with that seemingly happening on a nightly basis to guys that catch. Foul tips will take their toll.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad places to get hit behind the dish there.
Swung on and missed, and DeShields is out of there. 6 strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman.
Call of the game. We're going to move on to third base right now. You ever watch this guy on a Saturday, Sunday game of the week? The Oriole,
Yep.
Brooks Robinson. This guy, I was amazed when I watched him as a youngster. He'd diving all over the field, and he just kind of flipped the ball over there, you know. He's one of those guys, he always had you.
You really can't argue with Brooks being your best overall. I mean, the numbers certainly will back it up. In his era, he was clearly the gold standard. McCann has a 2-run homer in this game as he leads it off.
Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't even looked in the advanced metrics era. This guy would have lit it up. Led the American League third baseman fielding percentage 11 times. You know, here's the responsibilities as a third baseman. Obviously, bunts again, arm strength and accuracy. You got to go backhand, long across the diamond to your left, and kind of filtered in. And it's a hot corner down there. You got to have quick hands and feet, and you got to have guts. You go stand in there for batting practice and tell me how quick it is.
2-2 on McCann. Rangers have a pretty good one in Beltre.
Yeah, they do.
Multiple Gold Glove winner.
You look at that little, it's like a little hop on his pre-pitch. There's a great ISO right there by the guys. You watch, he'll try and be off the ground before the ball is hit, because you don't want to be on the ground, because then you'll be going in a direction. If you're above the ground, the ball's hit, you're on your way down, and then you can immediately you'll have already read the ball. Does that make sense? That's been proven to be the quickest way to where you got to go.
McCann hammers this one to right field. That ball's hit pretty good as well, but it's going to be caught right at the wall by Mazzara. One gone. We check in again with Matt Shepard.
Mario Bartolo Colon's cruising along here, but at age 45 and 21 years under his extra large baseball belt, this is a guy who isn't big into milestones, but there are two numbers that are really important to him. Number 243. That's how many wins Juan Marichal had, most ever by a Dominican pitcher. The other was 245. That's the number of victories for Dennis Martinez, most ever by a Latin-born pitcher. And as you guys know, Colon has 245 going into tonight's game. The problem for him is he does not have good numbers against Detroit. 9-10 in his career, an ERA over 5, a WHIP over 1.5, and the Tigers have the highest on-base percentage and batting average against Bartolo Colon of any team he's ever faced.
Well, Cologne right now is cruising. He's retired 9 straight. The one blemish, the 2-run homer by McCann. There's a swing and a miss by Ronnie Rodriguez. Still amazing to me that a guy at the age of 45, and when you talk about Rangers history, only Nolan Ryan was older in a regular season game at age 46.
With a little more velo than Cologne.
A tad. To the hole goes the shortstop Andrews. Not going to be able to make the play, and Ronnie Rodriguez aboard.
Well, let's get to the third baseman. A lot of great guys. We showed you Brooks Robinson already. Got Mike Schmidt, the number 10, play against him. And a modern guy, Nolan Arenado. I mean, I've watched him quite a bit in the National League. He leads third baseman in defensive run saves since 2013. Nolan Arenado reminds me of a Brooks Robinson. I mean, he just makes plays. He dives and the ball goes into his gloves, and he's got great strong arm. Mike Schmidt was pretty good himself.
I have no issue with all 3 of those guys.
What about your good buddy George Brett?
He's on the list pretty close. What do you think, Gibby?
Yeah, I don't. George Brett, I right or wrong, I think of him. He was a good fielder for sure. Was he one of the best? I don't know, but I think of him hitting and chasing after 400. So I may be wrong. A lot of this, I researched some of it, and others I just pulled out by how I felt about him. And if we can go back to our list.
Can I be a homer for a minute?
Sure.
Without saying he's in the top 3, but really one of the better fielding third basemen of my generation. Aurelio Rodriguez was really good.
He was, Chichi. We
like it.
We talked about him at dinner today.
Yeah, great backhand.
Great arm.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll bend one in there for a strike. Throw another Tiger in there. Great George Kell.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
For crying out loud, somebody help Gibby.
That's one of the great calls as an announcer.
And the batter, Scott Reed. There was no Scott Reed on Boston.
The 0-1 is looped in the air to shallow right field, and it's going to be Odor going back there to the edge of the dirt and grass to make the play, and Iglesias out, 2 gone.
Okay, let's just go back before we get ahead of ourselves. The overall criteria.
All right.
Gold gloves, longevity, range, clutch performer, footwork, the metrics. We read the sets. We went over that. The smell test. Down and dirty.
Explain, please.
Well, smell test means maybe I have personal experience or have real solid information, either firsthand or secondhand, closely to firsthand. And just guys that their style that I like the way they played, etc. So when you go back to the third baseman, all 3 of those guys would pass the smell test. Guys you'd want on your team, great teammates.
Reyes a single with 2 outs. Tigers in business. Couldn't you simply call that the eye test?
The smell eye test. Take a pretty good hit right here. See him staying right on it. Off the end of the bat a little bit, guides it out there.
Reyes has really had a whole lot better at bats, and this is his 2nd straight start. Of course, Leonis Martin on the disabled list has opened up the door for him a little bit with Jones going to center. Here is Jacoby. Tigers trying to build on their 2-1 lead with 2 outs. Pulled foul.
Looks like Bartolo's trying to throw him up top. Many do that in breaking balls. Doesn't really throw a breaking ball. See if he throws him a changeup. So you got any other third baseman while we're on him? You got it covered good?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there are guys that have been decent third baseman or very good third baseman. I don't know that you would put him in the top 3, the class that you had there in the top 3. Mike Lowell was a very good third baseman. There's a pop-up foul that's going to head back out of play. There have been a bunch of guys over the years, but when you're talking about elite under the criteria that you had, I'm with you. Your top 3, I think, was as good as it gets. Oh, 2 on Jones. Tigers need some breathing room here, although Zim has been awfully good tonight. Colon retired 9 straight before the uprising here in the 5th. Stayed away, 1-2.
Take a look at Beltre down there at third base. Now, if you're the third baseman right now with Jacoby up, you want to make sure you can hit the hot one, but you don't want to get too far off because that allows him to go down the line right there, Ronnie Rodriguez. Because you got a guy in first and third as well, so that he gets on any ball, you got the short throw to second base, so he's positioning himself as deep as he can and still having the opportunity on a ball, say deep to his left or maybe even to his backhand, to go to second base.
Chopper up the middle, but straight at Andrews. He'll get the force hit second. That'll end the inning. Tigers threaten but do not score, and we go to the 6th.
Sin-Soo Choo in the first inning goes deep. Then in the second at bat, Zim goes and mixes in some breaking balls right here, which he was very effective in his last at bat, and sets him down on strike. And here we go, wouldn't you know it.
And Choo to lead it off in a 2-1 Tigers lead. Shin-Soo fanned in his last at bat. The home run that he hit in the first was his 26th career leadoff home run. He's got 3 of them this year.
That was an interesting guy. You remember him being over at Cleveland, probably, don't you?
I do.
Started in Seattle into Cleveland. Cincinnati for a year now, over here with Texas, signed a big contract. When you go back and you ever go back and review those contracts and just like say it's valuable, it was a good value or it wasn't a good value? I wonder, this guy's, he's played pretty good for Texas.
He pops this one up into shallow right. And Castellanos hauls it in. Chu is out. Hey, the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals wraps up tomorrow. 2 huge games on Fox. First, Sweden will face Harry Kane in England at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then host country Russia battles Luka Modric and Croatia at 2 p.m. You can catch it all on Fox or stream all the action live in the Fox Sports app. One away now for Elvis Andrus.
A lot of that FIFA on in the clubhouses, huh?
A lot of it today.
Really catching on. Pretty intense stuff.
The 1-0. When you have tournaments, world tournaments that, you know, include so many different countries, it really is pretty dramatic stuff.
People get behind their countries for sure. And soccer really coming on strong in the United States as of late. You know a lot about the game? You good at it?
No, not really. I mean, I would watch and do watch the World Cup, but beyond that, not a whole lot. Kids played soccer. There's a swing and a miss, and Andrews is out of there.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. 92 for Zim, low 79 on the hook. He's throwing pretty good tonight so far.
Here is Nomar Mazara. We'll try and keep him in the ballpark. Mazara this year with 15 homers. 2 of them in one game against the Tigers back in May. One of them was a walk-off.
He's got big pop. Ball jumps. He's very strong, tall.
He's a big guy.
Here we are in a defensive theme night when defense is going to come into play here. Already has to an extent. Tight game, 2-1 Tigers. Top of the 6th.
Isolating the shortstop here in the 6th inning, so our position number 6 is short, and there's Iglesias, one of the best. We'll see what his pre-pitch setup is like. Strike on the outer edge, 1-2. I think the most important thing, Gibby, and correct me if I'm wrong, for really any infielder is to be on the balls of your feet and just be in a good athletic position.
Well, it is, and you have to be able to go either way, in, out, side to side. Iglesias, I'd say his best attribute over anybody I've seen is his ability to go back on a pop-up with his back to the play and catch it.
I mean, nobody really has done it better than Iglesias. That play is so difficult. He seems to run to the spot every single time.
And he's not shy about, he has a very good sense when he's approaching the outfielder. They expect him to go after it, number one, but he always seems, he doesn't shy away.
Pulled foul.
Tigers have a modified shift on right now.
Swing and a miss, and Zimmerman cruising along tonight. That is his 8th strikeout of the game. 1, 2, 3, 6. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, and a tight one here tonight. Rangers and the Tigers. Tigers lead it on a 2-run homer by McCann in the 2nd. Castellanos is 0 for 2 in this game. And Bartolo Colon being outdueled right now by Jordan Zimmerman. Both starters have been very good tonight. Zim with 8 strikeouts. Nick is sawed off there and rolls it right to Guzman. 1 gone. Time now for the Lowe's whole team together in this world of defensive shifts now. Teams are shifting Gibby approximately 30% more this season.
Yeah, you see the top 5, Chicago, Houston, Tampa Bay, KC, and Minnesota, all American League teams. Make sense because you don't have the pitcher. Tigers are on pace for 706, most since they started shifting. Still in the lower end of the shift usage, but they have very good results when they do shift.
Ball 1 to Goodrum.
Iglesias is one guy who really does a good job within the shift. Picks a lot of balls off up the middle. 24 balls were hit up the middle, and Iglesias took care of 20 of them. 83% success rate. That's tied for 4th best in the major leagues. I wonder when it's going to top off, level off, though, huh? They just keep shifting.
Yeah, you know what? And the numbers keep going up every year. I mean, there's got to be a point where they do level off, I would think.
But they used to do they call it the full Ted Williams shift. Then they do the modified shift, which is and then they also kind of do a split shift now. You're seeing the Tigers actually did one. We'll try and show you one last inning where second baseman is way over in the first base hole with the guy on first base. And then you have 2 guys together positioned on the other side of the diamond. So they really see the numbers that the data shows them. It's not just always just a pull or no pull. It can be a particular place on both sides of the infield.
Full count now on Goodrum. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Home runs tonight. Chu for the Rangers, a solo shot. McCann for the Tigers, a 2-run shot. It'll pop up to the shortstop.
You notice how many people he's jammed? He's got Nick the last 2 times. Let's take a look now at my top shortstops. This is going to be, we need some time on this one, I guess. I got Omar Vizquel at number 1, Tram at number 2, Ozzie Smith at 3. Everybody's saying Ozzie should be first. I think I just got Vizquel up there. I think he's kind of a steady without flair. Played 24 years. Ozzie played 19. Got Tram in the middle. It's my boy. He's got to be in there somewhere. I probably can't put him up top, but I can't put him below as well. That smell test thing we're talking about, that's, I have personal knowledge, and Tram, he passes that big time. And the reason I put Vizquel up here, 985 fielding percentage career. Ozzie was at 978, Tram 977. So open the mics.
Here's a little chopper hit to the right side. It's going to be Odor on the charge, and down goes Martinez.
This works good.
In a 1-2-3 inning. So we go to the 7th and a 2-1 Tigers lead. summary, want to show you the comparison on the starters tonight. Both Bartolo Colon and Jordan Zimmerman have been really good. The one main difference, all the strikeouts for Zim, who's been a little bit better tonight. Jordan back to the hill as we go to the 7th inning. He retired the side in order in the 6th. It'll be Beltre to lead things off. And a bender had him buckling out of the way on 1.
That looked like a setup to me. See the way he really got out of the way.
A little acting there, maybe.
Yeah, looking for another one.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Beltre would be a guy who would do that. He's seen a lot of breaking balls tonight.
Popped up, shallow center. Jones coming in. Beltre is out.
Well, we're going to left field tonight now here in the 7th inning. The criteria for an outfielder, obviously wall play. You got to have good range, arm strength, athleticism, just a little extra and above.
Well, guys, also here in left field, especially here at Comerica Park, you also have to have a little bit of speed. You almost want to have 2 center fielders, as much ground there is to cover here at Comerica Park. I am, guys, hanging out here in left field in my old stomping grounds, I like to call it, a place I like to call home. Is one of the most enjoyable places to play the outfield because it's so spacious. It gives you a lot of room to roam around, to kind of play with no abandonment and make some nice plays out here in left field.
Kind of like being in center field, but left field in Comerica because it's so big. You're saying it's like center field, right?
It truly is. And one of the big things about playing left field here at Comerica Park, you have to make sure you read the bat angle. A lot of times when that lefty hits the baseball, it's fading towards the line, and you have to make sure that you get yourself over there in a position where you're able to make some plays.
How about the wind in Comerica? I never played in this park, Simo. What about the wind? Can it get tricky?
Yeah, it can get tricky, Gibby, and it also swirls a little bit. Sometimes the ball, when you look up at the flag, you think it's blowing out, and you think that first step needs to be back. But in reality, when the ball is hit on the line, it's actually knocking the baseball down, so you have to really be careful out here in left field.
And then finally, the lights. How about those?
Well,
here?
that can be very, very difficult, especially with the Tiger Den seats. When you have a lot of white jerseys, there's a time of the day around 9 o'clock, 9:10, where you really have that sunset. It's very difficult to pick up the baseball, so you really want to make sure that you keep your eyes on the ball. And it seems like something's going on.
Meanwhile, Zimmerman has struck out Odor, his 9th strikeout of the night.
Zim's got it working. I asked, I can't remember what team, a couple starts ago, Zim about, does fastball have any life? And they said, yes, it does. It was sneaky. And he's got life tonight, and he's got a slider right there, and he's got a good breaking ball. He's got it all going. 9th K.
Now with 2 outs, here is Robinson Chirinos. Strikeout and a pop-up for Chirinos. Foul back 1-1.
Guys, also being out here in left field, I'm noticing that Victor Reyes is playing a little bit deeper here. And that's really where you need to play, because if the ball is hit shallow, right away you can tell right off the bat where you have to get on your horse and go in and make the play. And I feel like it's a lot easier to go in than it is to go back.
And with Iggy in his range, that would be another reason I'd probably play a little deeper. It was easier for me to come in than go back. How about you, Simo?
Well, truth be told, I really enjoyed going back on the baseball. Being a former receiver, I had no trouble going back and catching that over-shoulder touchdown pass, so to speak.
Well, meanwhile, Zim strikes out 10, another 1-2-3 inning. And coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
This is a guy that really had an influence on me. Yaz, he could really play the wall. I loved the guy. Led the American League in assists as an outfielder 7 times. Has the most assists whose career began after World War II. Some of the old guys that I got in there, I guess, tonight. I remember Yaz watching him when I was a little kid in the green seats, so at Tiger Stadium.
Cologne goes to work here in the 7th inning. Jim Adducci will lead things off.
The Deuce, let's go, Deuce. Let's add another one on.
Sorry, Gib. Guys, another guy that I really enjoyed watching play left field, and I know everybody talks about the steroids with Barry Bonds, but he was a tremendous left fielder. One of the things I really enjoyed was that he talked about cutting guys off with his legs, getting to the baseball extremely quick and getting rid of it with a very accurate throw. One of the best at it, at coming to the ball on the line, spinning, and making an outstanding one-hop throw to second base.
Strike call. Adducci is out of there, and 3 strikeouts now for Cologne.
Let's take a look at StatCast, powered by AWS. James McCann, the difference in the game right now, big 2-run shot. Puts the Tigers on top. That was in the 2nd inning. They're holding on right now.
You know, Simo, I'm with you on the left fielder Barry Bonds. I think so many people talk about it, want to concentrate on the type of offensive player he was and the steroids and all of that, but I think sometimes they overlook his defense.
Yeah, he didn't get enough credit for, so I'm concerned for his defense. Here's a guy that got tremendous jumps on the ball. He also knew how to read the ball off the bat. He knew right away where the ball was going, and I think as outfielders, that's one of the things you have to do. You don't really go to the ball. You go to the spot to where the ball is going to land, which allows you to get behind the baseball and really get yourself in some good throwing positions to be able to make some accurate throws as well, Gibby.
Yeah, well, we were talking about, I termed that read the sets, and that's exactly what you're talking about. You got to have a read.
Yes.
You got to use your legs, get around there, and get yourself running and in the same direction you're going to throw the ball. Going to make a stronger throw, good relay throw if you have to, right over the cutoff man.
And I always kept my feet moving when I was, especially on a fly ball, especially with guys on base. I thought it was so important to keep your feet moving because it's so easy to get your momentum going towards your target opposed to being at a standstill and where you have to create that momentum and you're not able to get a lot on your throw.
Well, here's my list. You guys just were talking about Barry Bonds. Yaz is number 1. Got Barry number 2. And I got Ricky Henderson. I played against Ricky Henderson. Is number 3. Comments?
I like that list there. I like Ricky. Only 1 Gold Glove, but boy, he certainly affected a lot of ball games. McCann retired in the pop-up, 2 gone. Fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go, made available by Oakland University. 2 up, 2 down. Here is Ronnie Rodriguez. Infield single and a ground out for Ronnie. Chopper to the shortstop. Right there is Andrews. And we're cruising right along here. Is 7 in the books. 1-2-3 inning for Cologne. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
own power. How about Jordan Zimmerman tonight? Oh, he's got it all working. He's got the good fastball going, got a good breaking ball, slider. Here you see the breaking ball down in the dirt, right on the outside corner. Fastball up and in. This is by far his best outing. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, a run, 10 strikeouts. The only run, a home run to the leadoff hitter, Sin Soo Chu. He's out there for more. 85 pitches through 7.
Swing and a miss by Ronald Guzman to get things started here in the 8th.
Guzman tried to jump him there. I thought he was going to get a heater.
Guzman homered in the ball game last night. He has a single in this game here tonight. Rolled foul, now 0-2. Eight straight retired by Zim. His last 10 strikeout game was his no-hitter with the Nationals. Here's the 0-2. Got him, strike 3, and Jordan now with 11 punch-outs.
Working fast too. He's got a good umpire behind the plate today. He's throwing it there and he's giving it to him. He's right on the corners. Many times you don't get those pitches. But Ed Hickox is money for Jordan Zimmerman tonight.
One gone now for Ryan Rua. Fastball up and away. There is action. Hardy, Wilson.
They're going to have a pitch count for him, but he's in the zone right now, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. The highest he has thrown in a game this year, 97 in his last start, which actually equaled his season high. He's done that twice. Two and one. Second a single for Rua. Bouncer to the shortstop. Gobbling it up there is Iglesias. 2 gone. 10 straight retired. Tigers host the Red Sox on Saturday, July 21st at 6:10. And the first 10,000 fans receive a Ron Gardenhire gnome. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. The Gardy gnome. Got to have one of those. How about Zim tonight, man? He has retired 10 straight, 11 punch-outs.
Like to see him get to finish it out. What he started, finish what he started.
Most strikeouts by Tigers starting pitcher this year is at 93 pitches. As we play here in the 8th, and of course number 8 on your scorecard is the center fielder. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on to Shields. You're talking about some of the top defensive center fielders being manned tonight by Jacoby Jones, who's pretty good at that position. Fouled away.
Yeah, he's one of the top. He is the top defensive run saved in the American League in left field. That's they track him in center field as well. Shields, I believe, leads that from Texas.
High fly ball, shallow left. Reyes comes charging in, and that is that. It's a 1-2-3 inning. How about Jordan Zimmerman?
He's going to ask to go back out.
He's retired 11 straight. We go to the bottom of the 8th. tonight. So the Tigers will not get a complete game this evening, but how about the effort by Zim tonight?
Very good, very good. This is, hopefully he can be consistent and do that. It'd be a big boost for this Tiger staff and lead him into the second half.
Zim with 11 strikeouts. Iglesias rolls one to first base, and sliding into the bag is Guzman for the out.
Let's take a look at our cricket smile. Well, you know who that is, Willie Mays. 12 gold gloves. Tied for the most for an outfielder with Roberto Clemente. Caught more than 7,000 balls in the outfield. Of course, remember the catch, right? You saw it right there.
The catch, 1954 World Series. Off the bat of Vic Wertz. One gone now for Victor Reyes. Zim retired the final 11 straight that he faced. And he came in with a 1.24 ERA in his last 5 starts.
Better tonight.
Reyes a single in 2 at-bats.
Got the center fielder right here. The infielders have been busy tonight. Lots of balls on the ground.
Meanwhile, Colon getting lost in the shuffle here. He's pitched a really good game as well.
Giving up the home run to James McCann. There you see Delino de Shields right there.
He's retired 8 straight. Slap foul out of play. Here's Haran pick the stick update. Whoa.
I got Nick, got nothing.
If you're not in the negative tonight, you're doing pretty good. 2-1 ball game. It's been 2-1 since the 2nd inning tonight when McCann hit his 2-run shot. Line drive caught on a leap by the shortstop Andrews. Another hard hit ball for Reyes.
Yeah, right place, right time. Perfectly timed. Ball had some giddy up on it, and then it was getting ready to slice a little bit. But Andrews timed it perfectly. You gotta, even though we didn't like the result of that play, you gotta appreciate plays like that, don't you?
Absolutely. Gardy was talking about the at-bat that Reyes had against Kella last night. He was throwing 97, 98. Drove one to the outfield for a base hit.
And I got an idea. Jacoby gets on, and you know what?
Homer?
Yeah.
Castellanos? Oh, Jacoby might do it himself. Driven deep to left center field, and Jones has gone deep. Jacoby with a 2-out shot to give the Tigers an extra run.
That's a big run right there. That's Mickey, isn't it? Just kind of hangs it. Looks like a slider. He hangs it right up in the wheelhouse of Jacoby Jones. He got some pop. He had good numbers against Cologne. He got another dinger out here.
Insurance run for the Tigers. There's Mary Jones. There's a swing and a miss. And Jacoby's mom excited about that last home run. His 7th of the year. That ball went 424 feet. Big insurance run for the Tigers. Cued foul back out of play. 0-2 now on Castellanos.
Cologne has run that ball in on him all night long, and nobody's done that yet this year.
Joe Jimenez warming up in the Tigers bullpen. He'll be coming out for the save. The closer in place of Shane Green, who's on the disabled list. Drill to right field. Straight at Mazzara. That'll end the inning. Tigers get a big run. Jacoby Jones goes deep. 3-1 Tigers.
Back with you at Comerica Park for a 1-800-CALL-SAM update. A few home runs hit in this game, Simo, but the show has really been dominated by Bartolo Colon and Jordan Zimmerman.
Two veteran guys who knows how to pitch, knows how to maneuver through major league lineups, guys, and they've done it throughout their career. Today was no different. They were fantastic, but that was a big blow, Mick, by Jacoby Jones. You hang it, we bang it. That's a nice tack-on run for the Tigers going into the top of the 9th inning.
Somebody took him and picked the stick tonight.
Oh, well, we ain't going to talk about
exactly.
We're not going to talk about pick the stick.
I'm sure we'll talk to Jacoby about that home run coming up after the game on Tigers Live. And Jordan Zimmerman has done something tonight in a Tigers uniform for the first time. We'll tell you what that is. Hear from Zim on his performance immediately following the game. Mario, Gibby.
Mario, he won't stop. He won't stop, Mario.
He won't stop. You can't get through a 90-second hit without him talking about
he won't
Ram
stop.
Pick the stick. Oh, well. Hang in there, Simo. Wellside Windows pitching change. Joe Jimenez has come on now to try and get the save.
Well, looks like they're protecting Zim, and they're going to come in there with Big Joe. He's been good this year. 43 game. This is 44th. Shane Green's been on the shelf, getting better down there. Joe stepped up well in his capacity.
Well, he's got the top of the lineup. Shin-Soo Choo, Elvis Andrus, and Nomar Mazara here in a 3-1 ball game. The homer by Jones giving the Tigers and Jimenez some breathing room. Choo looks at the ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can see the shift right there. It's kind of one of those split shifts I was talking about. Got 2 here and 2 over here. Used to be just one side or the other.
It'll dart low, and now the count goes 2-1. Choo had a home run in the very first inning to lead off the game against Zim, and then after that it was lights out. Jordan struck out 11 tonight.
It's like old times.
The 2-1 pitch. Driven to right field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Choo is aboard with his second hit. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Here is Elvis Andrus. Grounded foul to third base.
That home run big. Was 2-1. They get the leadoff guy on.
Huge. A little bit of breathing room now for Jimenez, who has allowed the leadoff single. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Caught the bottom of the zone, didn't get the call.
Andrews, tough night, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Those at bats against Zimmerman. In there, a strike called, 1-2.
Now Joe's stuff, he's got the fastball and the slider. Zim was featuring the fastball, slider, and the curve. So he's going to be a 2-pitch guy and going to have to keep the ball down to the ground like that. He'll maybe get that double play he's looking for.
Fouled away. By the way, tomorrow afternoon we've got another Tigers-Rangers matchup. Join us for Tigers Live beginning at 3 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. It'll be game 3 in the series, 3 of 4. Another 4-game homestand for the Tigers. Chopped left side, cut off at third. They'll go to second and 1. Relay to first, not in time. Rodriguez able to get the lead runner with his throw to second base. 1 gone.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get as much on it as he wanted to. I don't know if he didn't get his feet around, but smartly made sure he got 1. Nico, you can see he does the same. Just came out a little softer. Take 1 out at a time with the 2-run lead. Don't want to make a mistake and throw one when you're not ready to and throw it away. Give the Rangers another out.
Here is Nomar Mazara. Joe trying to bounce back after that last outing on the second in Toronto, blew the save and ended up getting the win. Walked 3 in an inning of work, gave up a hit, a run. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1 on Mazara. 95 there from Jimenez.
Looks like Mazara was a better low ball hitter to me, and that ball was elevated a bit, and Mazara right underneath it.
It'll dart low and in. 2-1.
You got to watch it here. Mess around inside. Mazara's got huge power in there. If you're an outfielder, you want to make sure you're playing a little deeper right now.
Well, he's gone to 3-1. Don't want to walk, guys. You got Beltre waiting on deck. Nick Castellanos in our 9 innings, 9 positions out in right field for the 9th. There's a swing and a foul tip. 3-2.
That's where you want to throw him, right there.
There's Beltre on deck. Here's the 3-2.
Just got a piece. Well, I think they were thinking that Joe Jimenez would be the closer of the future. Future is now with Greeny on the DL. This is tough stuff. This tough sled right here. Rangers have been fighting all night, all year against the Tigers. Can't overthink it. Trust your catcher.
Got him, strike 3. Mazzara caught looking, 2 gone.
Looks like Mazzara may have thought that a little bit. Fastball right down the middle. Caught him looking. He's probably thinking he's going to throw that slider. He can throw all these fastballs. Here's the 2-seamer. Explodes across the plate. That's a good pitch there.
That is 12 strikeouts for Tigers pitching tonight. Now here is Beltre, their last chance. Crowd coming to its feet. Beltre fouls it back out of play.
Beltre's dangerous as well. The Tigers outfield playing slightly opposite, over to right center a little bit. Going to try and stop him from beating you on the pull side. This is where the ballpark works to your advantage.
Drill to left field, but it's going to go foul. Man, he turned on that.
Yeah, he's got one thing in mind. You want to keep it out of there. Down and away. Beltre, a veteran, been in this situation many times. Joe wants it away, gets it in. Good crowd tonight.
Now the 0-2. Bouncing ball to short should do it. Iglesias for the force, and the Tigers win game 2 in the series. Jimenez the save. Zimmerman outstanding tonight. 3-1 your final. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York, Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. Coming up on Tigers Live, all A's for Z tonight, but it was brought to you by the letter K. Can't wait to hear from Jordan Zimmerman. The McCannon launch tonight. We'll show you the swing adjustment behind it. Friday Night Fireworks Show is on tap. You don't want to miss that. And Gardy's back. Did he think about letting Zim go the distance tonight? We'll find out next on a postgame edition of Tigers Live.